Hello everybody and welcome to Toyah at Home, where we are exploring Posh Pop songs which you have expressed as your favourites. And one that comes out on top is Barefoot on Mars, which is a song about invisible love and addressing something from our past that needs addressing and needs communicating and contact with. Now, the feeling that I had when I wrote this song, and I'll put it in perspective in a minute, was something needed addressing from my past. There was grief, but there was also anger, and there was unresolved issues. Now, anyone who has ever followed me knows that I never got on with my mum. Well, however hard we tried, we never ever got on. We always ended up riling each other, annoying each other, and making each other really angry or incredibly sad or frustrated, and even some points suicidal. Now, the culmination of this story is that when my mother passed, I was with her. Her best friend Maggie was with her, as was quite a few of her friends. We were all sitting round her at the hospice. And I held my mother as she sat up and she died. And it was very, very powerful because my mother, I have no memory of her holding me or telling me she loved me. I was very much a problem in her life and we never knew why. So on the 3rd of December last year, I was making a pilot program for Channel 4 that involved Ancestry.com. And Ancestry discovered something my family never knew to do with my mother. And it's to do with unearthing paper clippings. And they found 2 paper clippings about a court case. And it revealed that my maternal grandfather murdered my maternal grandmother very lightly in front of my mum. Now, none of us knew this. My mother would not talk about her past. We knew she was a dancer. We knew she was a professional on stage from the age of 12. We've even got paper cuttings and reviews to show you. My mother, when she met my father, had a chaperone who never left her side. The chaperone stayed with her. They shared hotel rooms on tour. They even shared bedrooms. And my father could not get rid of the chaperone, even on the wedding day. My father had difficulty getting rid of the chaperone, to the point of getting the chaperone drunk. And my father didn't understand the tenacity and the insistence of the chaperone, that the chaperone never left her mother. So the story went that my maternal grandfather murdered my maternal grandmother. He claimed in court that my maternal grandmother was unfaithful, and he murdered her in a fit of passion. He escaped the gallows. It was a crime of passion. He went to prison for 3 months, and when he came out, he married another woman. He wasn't married to my mother's mother. And I now, in hindsight, know that my mother's fear was it being discovered that she was born out of wedlock, which back then, no, you couldn't do it. A woman couldn't survive it socially. But also that my mother lost the one person she loved more than anything in the world. I'm back in the room. I had to compose myself there. How can I explain my mum? She was very, very beautiful. She even screen tested for National Velvet alongside Elizabeth Taylor. My mother definitely wanted to be a star, and whatever happened or whatever she saw completely wrecked her life. My mother, when I was about 11, got a box down from the attic at 119 Grove Road, Kings Heath, Birmingham. And in that box, it was her stage makeup box. That's a picture of her. There was a letter from her mother saying, "My darling daughter, I miss you so much. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much." And I realised that that letter was from a mother who absolutely loved my mother, and the love was mutual. So this is my mother's professional makeup box. And the smell is incredible because it is grease paint. And this, I find extraordinary, is her little lucky black cat brooch. There's little beads, there's coins, there's Leichner powder, grease paint. There is this extraordinarily old powder puff. So when my mother brought this box, and this was within a box, down from the attic, she was obviously revisiting something that we didn't know about, and she was trying to find closure with. And out of that box, my mother pulled this charm bracelet. And I fell in love with it. I absolutely adored it. And I realised it was her mother's. And my mum gave this to me. And obviously, I've kept it close to me ever since, only realising it was her mother's on the 3rd of December, when Ancestry.com told me what happened to her. A jigsaw literally burst up into the air, fell on the ground, and all the pieces came together. Also, in the video for Barefoot on Mars, I'm wearing this. And I believe her mother was wearing this when she lost her life. Now, you may be thinking this is really just too tragic and too gruesome, but there is something very sacred about the fact that I had the privilege to hold my mother as she died, especially looking back in the last 17 months where some of you lost people you couldn't visit in hospital. So the song is about the irony, and the video is about the irony of that privilege. This was my grandmother. That's my father, which my mother would have added to the locket when they were dating. So in the video, I'm wearing that. So I cannot tell you how I felt emotionally when Ancestry.com told me this news, because suddenly I realised that my mother gave birth to a monster, and that was me. We fought, we physically fought, we fought with words, we fought psychologically, we were not kind to each other, we didn't tolerate each other, we couldn't even be in the same room as each other. And ironically, it was only when she entered the hospice that I sat with her for 5 days and 5 nights and just sat with her, trying to give her inner light and belief that where she was going was the right place and there was continuity in her existence. So I came back from that meeting with Ancestry.com and I wrote these words. Somewhere there's a place, a once upon a time, and in that place there's only the kind. We have all we need to conquer the world, build our dreams and watch them unfold. I broke every rule, but you loved me. I walked away. I know that you love me. I turned my back on all you valued. I held you as you died. We are in paradise, watching ghosts in the snow. Just me and you and modern scars. Barefoot on Mars, looking out for flowers. New horizons tower above the shore. And then in the middle 8, because I sent this to Simon, and when we got into the studio, we added these words in the middle 8. I still hear you every day. I still feel you in every way. I still hear you, and I'll hear you for the rest of my life. So I sent these words to Simon via email, and then literally a week later, I went into the studio and he'd written the music. This was written in its entirety as I wrote it. Which is quite unusual because usually we tear things apart and build and alter, but that is exactly what I wrote that night when I got home from London, and Simon instantly got it. And what I absolutely adore about this song is that it is an absolutely beautiful pop song and love song, which if you took the line away, I held you as you died, you have a classic pop song. And we discussed this with the record company, should we change that line for the sake of commerciality? And everyone said no, keep the line. Am I ever going to be able to sing this live? I don't know. I don't know. I will try. The way I get through songs that move me that much is that I realise that the people I'm singing to need the song as well. And I will get through this by knowing that so many of you need this song. And when we shot the video, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And well, I knew exactly visually how I was going to do it. I didn't know emotionally how I was going to do it. And Carlo Marshall and I shot the video twice, because on the first video, we didn't know why my skin was shining so much. We had done absolutely nothing different with how we treated the camera and the lighting to every other video. And we shot it for a second time, and the skin on both me and Fripp is still shining. And we wanted to relight the wings, the angel wings behind us, which are the connection. The idea is that all of that, the wings behind me, the feathers falling, mean that we're eternally connected, and we can address past wrongs and see them, not necessarily right them, but make amends. And on the second shoot, Carlo Marshall worked so hard to get the lighting right that you could see the wings behind me. And then he was dropping the feathers. And on the first take of the reshoots, these feathers were coming down with such ferocity. And I said, Carlo, this looks as though there's been a mid-air collision between two birds. We have to make it less. It's got to be almost accidental that these feathers are appearing. It was an absolute honour to make this video, and it was one of the most intense and really quite wonderful songs to record, because both Simon, myself, my wonderful husband Robert Fripp addressed it with such respect. And Robert, his guitar on it is absolutely breathtaking. And when it came to shooting the video, he was 100% committed to the video because he knew what the song was about. And I hand him a picture of his mother, and he didn't know that. So I hand him the picture, then I let him see what it is. And his mother, Edie Fripp, was an absolute saint. She was so gorgeous and generous and big-hearted. And Robert burst into tears. So I know that we need this song. All of us need this song. And I have debated with myself how much of the truth I tell you. So I hope that you can respect me for telling you the truth, and I hope I haven't made you feel blue. This is Barefoot on Mars.
Somewhere there's a place, oh, once upon a time